Hey everyone, Andrew back again and welcome to another video, and yep, I'm back with another music update. So this is basically everything that I've picked up since my last music update, which was a couple of weeks ago or something like that. A lot of these albums, most of you again are probably pretty familiar with, so I'm not going to ramble on too much. I am of course going to give my quick opinions on the albums myself though. But yeah, before I get into the actual pickups though, I'm wanting to give a quick shout out to Rob, or Black Star Vinyl, another awesome guy from the VC. He's just hit 50 subscribers, so a big congratulations Rob, certainly well deserved. You've certainly been pumping out the videos and it's definitely paying off. Big fan of your content, and really been enjoying the chats we've had in the the conversations we've been having in the comment sections of a lot of our videos. So yeah, it's been great getting to know you a little bit, and really great bunch of videos. Rob often shows a lot of stuff that not everyone else seems to show, which is great, especially for me when I'm just trying to get into a lot of different bands that I've never heard of. Rob's videos are always great. Pretty much every video he shows something that I've never heard of before, that I'm interested in checking out. So yeah, he shows a lot of great stuff, has a lot of solid pickups. So I will be leaving his link in the description box below. So once again, if you're interested in music in any way, shape or form, definitely check him out. Okay, with that out of the way, let's finally get on to the pickups. So I'm actually going to start with a DVD first, but it is music related, and that is Motley Crue's Carnival of Sins live concert. This just arrived yesterday. I got it pretty cheap off of eBay, and I haven't actually had the chance to sit down and watch it, but I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out. Live concert DVDs and Blu-rays are something that I'm interested in getting into. I'm not really that familiar when it comes to live concerts, so yeah, cannot wait to check this one out. I've heard pretty good things about it and it looks pretty awesome, so that's that. And to go along with that, I pretty much finished off my Motley Crue collection, at least for me. I'm not a fan of the last three albums, especially Generation Swine, which is utter shit and just one of the worst albums that I've ever heard from any band basically. But anyway, I went ahead and picked up Girls, Dr. Feelgood, which I am a pretty big fan of. I know some people seem to rank this kind of low, especially amongst the other 80s albums from Motley, but yeah, I really like Dr. Feelgood. And I even like their 94 album Motley Crue. This isn't a bad album at all in my opinion. I definitely like enough songs on it to feel that it was worth adding to the collection. It's nothing compared to the 80s stuff, but still it's pretty good for what it is. So that's that. So pretty happy to add all that Motley Crue stuff to the collection. That finishes off a small section of my collection within my larger collection, which is always good. Okay, moving on, we have an eBay purchase of Shotgun Messiah's Second Coming. This band I'd never heard of before until checking out a few people here on the VC. I'd actually seen a few comments back and forth under some people's videos. Chris from What Lurks on Channel X and Rob, Black Star Vinyl, have mentioned Shotgun Messiah before in some of their videos and the comments and stuff like that. So I decided to check them out and was pretty impressed. They've only released 3 albums. I've listened to some of the first album. That album seems pretty difficult to get. And then there's this one, Second Coming, which is their second album. I've listened to about half of the third album online and I'm not a fan of it. It's a pretty different step away from the first 2 albums. This is essentially a hair metal or glam album essentially, and it's absolutely fantastic. If you're into really good guitar work, throughout metal albums. Amazing guitar riffs. This is definitely an album for you. Harry Cody, the guitarist, is just absolutely fantastic. So yeah, really enjoyed this album a lot, and I'd definitely recommend it. Alright, now moving on to yesterday's pickups, which there were a lot of. I travelled about 45 minutes away to another place that I don't really visit too often. It's a store called JB Hi-Fi. I normally go there maybe once or twice every couple of months, and they have a really good music section, movie section, electronics section. They're basically the Best Buy of Australia pretty much. We don't have Best Buy over here, but JB Hi-Fi are pretty much the equivalent of that. So I had a little bit of store credit, and yeah, I hit things pretty hard. So I was in the mood for a brand new album, and this album just came out last week, and it of course is the latest album from Alice Cooper, Paranormal. I'm not really that familiar with Alice Cooper apart from the odd song here and there, and then I own his 80s album Constrictor, which is a fantastic album, but other than that I don't really have a lot of knowledge or history with Alice Cooper, but bloody hell, this album was absolutely fantastic. The sort of tail end of the album is definitely its weak point. It has a pretty weak ending, but a very solid start, and yeah, it sort of goes pretty consistently throughout the middle of the album up until the end, as I said, where it sort of drops off a bit. But I'm not really that into modern music, but this was damn good. Very impressed with it. Paranormal, the opening song was just absolutely fantastic. It really was a great start to the album. My favourite song on this is definitely Fireball. I just absolutely loved that song. I've listened to it quite a few times since picking it up. But yeah, this is a 2-disc set. Pretty nice set. It's a digipack, and there is the inside, 2 discs, and the booklet is in the middle sleeve there. So yeah, don't really need to talk too much about Alice Cooper, but for a modern brand new album, really liked it a lot. So I'm definitely keen to give some of Alice's other albums a more solid look at now. So that's that one. Moving on to another band that's again fairly modern, which again is kind of surprising for me, because when it comes to modern music, especially rock and especially metal, I'm not really a massive fan of it. The lyrics are just way too shrieky and screechy for my liking, and yeah, it's just way too heavy for the most part. But I did discover a band late last week that I've sort of been listening to online quite a bit, and decided to pick up a couple of their albums. And a little bit of a warning in advance, I apologise if I butcher the album names. They're kind of tricky to pronounce. But we have Ghost. So this is their second album, Infestisima, and I'm pretty sure that I have not pronounced that correctly, but I'm sure you guys get the idea. This is their weakest album in my opinion. I've listened to all 3 albums online, by the way, before picking up physical copies, and yeah, this album's not bad though. It's still pretty good, but compared to the other 2 albums, it's pretty poppy. Now, if you're not familiar with Ghost, they have a very 70s hard rock sound. Great vocals throughout all their albums, and really good guitars and drums, great instrumentals, and as I said, really solid vocals, and the songs are really catchy as well for essentially hard rock metal music. So I definitely recommend them. But yeah, back to this actual album. I didn't mind it. The first half was pretty good, and then the second half sort of goes into a bit of poppy territory. But as I said, you know, the album's pretty good. So that's that one. And unfortunately the store didn't have the original album, so I'll probably have to get that online. But we have their most recent album, and this one is Meliora, which I'm pretty sure I have pronounced that correctly, but again, apologies if I haven't. This was absolutely fantastic. It was a pretty good return to form for Ghost, pretty similar to their first album. It's got a similar sound to it, but yeah, great album. I'm not really too sure if I prefer this over the original, but again, this was a really solid return to form, and just a great album. Again, great 70s hard rock vibe to it, great instrumentals and really good vocals, and again, as I said before, really catchy music overall. So if you've never checked out anything by Ghost, I'd definitely recommend it. Really good stuff. Alright, moving on to the last portion of the video. I've bulked up my Iron Maiden collection quite a bit. I'm not really going to talk too much about these albums. Not only are they very popular amongst the VC, everyone has seen these albums, pretty much everyone owns them and are really familiar with them. Plus I'm wanting to do a more in-depth Iron Maiden video in the next week or so, so stay on the lookout for that. But yeah, first up we have Iron Maiden Book of Souls, which is their latest album. Now when it comes to me and Iron Maiden, I'm a massive fan of all of their 7 albums from the 80s, and then I kind of not really a big fan of pretty much anything up into this album. I thought this was a great album, especially for a modern album. As I mentioned before, I'm not that big into modern metal, but in my opinion this was a great return to form for the band. And just look at that artwork, it's absolutely amazing. Now I would have loved to pick up the vinyl for this, but unfortunately the vinyl was like $67. It is a 3 LP set though, but I don't know, I just couldn't justify spending that much out of pocket, especially when the 2-disc CD was only $20. So maybe someday down the line I will pick up the vinyl, but for now the CD is good enough for me, so that's that one. Okay, and now we're going to end the video off with a bang and showcase some vinyl. So I decided to splurge a little bit, and I know I said in my previous video that I'm not really going to probably focus too much on vinyl, but giving it some thought, there's some certain albums and bands that I really want to pick up on this format. So yeah, enough rambling on. We have Iron Maiden Killers. I consider this to be kind of underrated within their 80s discography, because a lot of people seem to shit on this album. I don't know why. I think it's an absolutely amazing album. It's very raw and heavy, and the guitar riffs in this are just incredible. So that's that. Back of it there. And just look at this artwork, it's absolutely incredible. So that is Killers. Then I went ahead and also picked up Peace of Mind, another absolutely phenomenal album with great artwork. Back of it there. This one's pretty cool. It is a gatefold. So there's that one. And last but certainly not least, also picked up Somewhere in Time, and just look at that artwork, it's absolutely awesome. This is another great Iron Maiden album, epic album, very consistent, and yeah, absolutely love it. So I definitely plan to pick up more Iron Maiden on vinyl. I'm really only going to be focusing on the 80s stuff, because that is pretty much the only Maiden stuff that I'm really truly interested in, apart from Book of Souls of course. But yeah, so 4 more albums to go. I'm probably going to try and pick up a couple of albums every couple of weeks. I'm actually going back up to the JB Hi-Fi store in a couple of weeks again, so I will probably pick up another couple of albums, and then later on again pick up another couple. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Now, I've listened to Peace of Mind and Killers on the vinyl records, and I've got to say I was really impressed. I'm not an audiophile by any means, but I can tell the difference between the CD and the record, and in my opinion, as many people have stated to me here on the VC already, the records are superior. They just sound absolutely amazing. So yeah, these were 3 great purchases, and I definitely cannot wait to add the rest of the 80s albums on vinyl into my collection. So yeah, got a stack of stuff, all really good. I've enjoyed everything that I've picked up, and I think I've picked up a pretty good variety of stuff this time. Added some of my favourite stuff into the collection, and even discovered some new stuff that I like. So yeah, spent a lot, but it was definitely well worth it. So I'm probably going to try and do these music updates every couple of weeks. I feel that's a good time period for me to have picked up enough stuff to make the video decent, to have a decent amount of stuff to show you guys. But yeah, that pretty much does it for this video. So I hope you've enjoyed everything that I've shown. Let me know some of your favourite albums that I've shown, and again, make sure if you're not already subscribed to Rob Blackstar Vinyl, definitely do so. His channel link will be left in the description box, so please check him out. I definitely highly recommend his channel. Great guy, great content. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble, so I'm going to wrap up the video now, and I hope everyone's enjoyed this, and thank you for watching.